Welcome guys to the next PHP video, and today I'm going to be going over the get and post in PHP. Now up here you may have noticed on sites like Google that when you search it will pop up here and put in your search query, and it will usually end up looking something like that or something along the lines. And also, I'm going to show, that's basically using the get value, and I'm also going to show you the post value, which is where you might input something on a form and then press go, and then it processes that post data on the next page. So this will open up some more possibilities for what you'll be able to do in PHP. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and navigate to my projects directory, which is where I'm going to be saving the file that we use today. And go ahead and open up Notepad or whatever text editor you're using, and let's get started. Now, we'll go ahead and open up a basic PHP document. And what we want to do is, first we're going to we'll use get just to show you what you can do. Let's go ahead and do a simple HTML file. If you haven't watched my HTML videos, you can go watch those to learn how to do HTML simply. Now in the body, what we're going to be doing is creating a simple form, and for the action, we want the action to be the same name as the form we're on right now, so we can send the post data or the get data back to the same page. Now to do that, you open up PHP and you type echo server PHP_self, and that right there is what does that. It's basically echoing the page back to this area. So the action is going to be whatever page we save this as. If we save it as test.php, then it's going to put that back down there, along with the http:// all that stuff. So that's the action. We're just going to have it return to the same page. You can set this to whatever page you want to process the data on. So if you want to process it on a different page, then set it to that page. The method, we're going to start with get, which would be the first method we discuss. And we're going to create an input field. Input type equals text. We're going to create the name of, we'll use Q since that's a good example. And yeah, that's all we need for the input. We're going to create a submit button. Input type equals submit, name equals submit form, and we'll put the value as submit form. So now that that's complete, we want to go ahead and end our form tag, and we're going to save it. I'm going to save it in my projects directory as we'll do get_post.php, save as type, change to all files, and click save. Next we want to open up our internet browser and find where that's located, and click it. So now we have our form here, and up here in the URL we can see it's just get_post.php. But let's type something in. Let's say hello world, and submit form. Now it brings us back to this page because that's what we told it to do. But now you'll notice up here in the URL we have the get values of our form. So the first value is the value of Q. It'll put the name, the equal sign, and then the value inputted for that. In this case, hello world. And you can see a plus between it. That's because it's URL encoded, which means it will take all the special characters like spaces and different weird symbols, and it'll convert them to URL encoding. And the space character in URL encoding just happens to be a plus sign. So hello plus world, and then it'll put more names. Submit form, that was the name of our submit button, and it'll put equals, and you can see a plus because I put a space. Submit plus form, and then another plus. So it's basically just taking all of the form values with the name and returning them up here to the field. So we have them in the URL now, but how can we use them? well, you'll notice that they have a name, q equals hello world. We're just going to use PHP to get the value of what each name is. Now, just going over really quickly, you might notice this question mark here, and then it's an and sign here. Well, basically, the first value that's returned, whatever it is, will always use the question mark, and then the next values will always use the and sign. And blah equals blah, and blah equals blah, and it'll use the and sign from there on out. So just know that. It's nothing to get all hyped up over. Now, going back into our PHP file, I'm going to open it up using the new one that we put in here. We have our PHP opened up here before the HTML starts. Well, let's do echo, and then to get values, you want to use the $_get, and that's a reserved type of variable in PHP that's going to be used to get the values. And you need to use brackets here because it's virtually an array using all the get values found in the URL up here. So we're going to get the value of q, put that in quotes, and that's all. It's going to echo the value of q. That's basically what it's saying. Now let's go ahead and reload this page up here, and we'll type hello world and submit the form, and it wrote it up there. That's because it got it from the URL where the question mark q equals hello world is. And you'll see that plus sign is gone because it automatically URL decodes it when it uses the get data in PHP. So it's just taking care of extensive stuff for you so you don't have to do it yourself. And so there it is, hello world written on the screen right there. _get, and then you put in quotes the name, and that's how you get data from the form. Now, if we wanted to, we could also, we're going to link it with a break and then link it again with, we'll do get the value of submit form. Now, I don't know why I'd want to do that, but if you do want to do that, well, that's how you do it. So save that. We're going to reload the page without that on there, and then we'll type hello world again, and there's hello world, and then submit form, which is basically just the value of this button. Now, the only bad thing about get is people can change it up here really easily. So if you have some sort of special thing that you're doing and you don't want them to be able to change it, then don't use get. So like I can type blah blah, and then enter, and when it loads it's going to tell you blah blah because PHP is just getting that value that's up there. And basically the form is set to the method get, so it'll automatically place that value up there for you when they press submit. So that's basically the get. Now we're going to show you the set or the post function, which is more secure, but you still need to be careful when using it and make sure that what they put in there can't be altered in a way that's going to screw something up. So just keep that in mind, and we'll go over some more security later. But post data, if we set the method of the form to post, then basically instead of putting the information up there in the URL, it's going to send it anonymously over the server. It can still be retrieved, but it's not in plain sight. You would have to go through other extensions to get the information that's being sent. So we have the method of post here, and now, well, just basically, just like I explained a second ago, all this is going to be sent over through the server, and you'll notice that if we run it now and type hello world, well, I forgot to save it, my bad. Okay. Now, if we run it, you'll notice that nothing happens here. And you'll notice that nothing's in the URL anymore. That's because the data was sent over the server, and we can no longer use the get function to get the information since it's not in the URL. What we want to do is use the post function. So basically just change all instances of get to post, and you can get the data that was sent through post. Now let's go ahead and save this, and I'll show you. type hello world, and there they are again. They popped up just like normal, but now they were sent over through the server instead of being completely visible in the URL. So that's basically the get and set function. You can do a lot more with this later, and we will get into that. But thanks for watching the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. More PHP videos coming soon.